My family didn't show up to my wedding. Then my new $120K Tesla changed everything. I used to believe that no matter how messy, complicated, or distant a family becomes, they would still show up for the big moments. I was wrong. My name is Alina Whitmore, and on the most important day of my life, the front row of white garden chairs remained painfully empty. Reserved for Mom, Dad, my brother Ryan, my sister Chloe. 4 chairs, 4 ghosts. And every single one of them chose not to come. The girl who was never enough. I grew up in a polished suburban neighborhood outside Chicago. My parents loved appearances. Perfect lawn, perfect holiday cards, perfect church smiles. But I was never the perfect daughter. Ryan was the golden child, varsity athlete, business major, future CEO. Chloe was the princess, pageants, cheerleading, engagement at 22 to a good family man. And me. I was the dramatic one. Because I wanted to build my own tech startup. Because I didn't want to marry at 23. Because I moved to California alone with 2 suitcases and a dream. When I left for San Francisco at 24, my dad told me, "Don't expect us to rescue you when you fail." I didn't ask for rescue. I asked for belief. Building something from nothing. The first 2 years were brutal. I slept on a friend's couch. I worked at a coffee shop during the day. At night, I coded my app. It was a financial literacy platform for young women, simple investing, debt tracking, real-world money education. Every investor meeting felt like a polite rejection. Too niche, too emotional, too optimistic. But I kept going. Because I remembered my mom once telling me, "You'll never survive without us." And I decided she would be wrong. The engagement. I met Daniel during year 3. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't rich. He was steady. An architect with calm hands and thoughtful eyes. When he proposed on a quiet cliffside overlooking the Pacific, there were no photographers, no staged lighting. Just us. I called my mom that night. She didn't cry, she didn't ask about the ring, she didn't ask about the venue. She asked, "Is he wealthy?" I laughed, thinking she was joking. She was. The wedding invitations. We planned a small vineyard wedding in Napa. Nothing over the top, just elegance, intimate, romantic. I mailed the invitations with shaking hands. I wanted that moment in every movie, the mother helping with the dress, the father walking me down the aisle. 2 weeks later, I got the call. Dad's voice was flat. "We won't be attending." I thought I misheard. "What?" "It's not practical to fly out, and frankly, Alina, this feels rushed." Rushed. We'd been together 2 years. Chloe got married after 8 months. Ryan had a 400-guest engagement party, funded by my parents. I swallowed hard. "So you're not coming?" "No." That was it. No apology, no regret. Just no. The wedding day. On the wedding morning, I checked my phone 17 times. No good luck, no we love you, no congratulations. Nothing. When I walked down the aisle, Daniel squeezed my hand tighter than usual. He had noticed the empty seats. Everyone had. But he didn't say anything. He just whispered, "I'm your family now." And somehow, that made the ache sharper and softer at the same time. We danced, we laughed, we kissed under fairy lights. And I told myself, I don't need them. But part of me still wanted them to want me. The breakthrough. 6 months after the wedding, everything changed. One of the biggest venture capital firms in Silicon Valley reached out. They'd been tracking our growth quietly. Our user base had exploded. Our revenue doubled. Women across the country were using the platform. After weeks of negotiations, they offered $8.5 million in funding. My company valuation, just over $20 million. I signed the papers with steady hands. The girl who would fail had just built something real. The Tesla. Daniel suggested we celebrate responsibly. I suggested something symbolic. So I bought it. A pearl-white Tesla Model S Plaid. Fully loaded, $120,000. Not because I needed it, but because I remembered my dad once saying, "You'll never afford something like that on your own." The day it was delivered, I took a picture. Sunlight bouncing off the hood, me leaning casually against it, wedding ring visible. I posted it on Facebook with a simple caption. Built, not borrowed, grateful for the journey. I didn't tag anyone. I didn't mention my family. But I knew they would see it. The call. 3 hours later, my phone rang. Mom. I stared at the screen for a full 10 seconds before answering. Hello. Her tone was syrupy sweet. Elena, I just saw your new car. Oh my goodness. I said nothing. She continued, we had no idea you were doing so well. Why didn't you tell us? I almost laughed. Because I had. For years. She just never listened. Dad got on the line next. We're proud of you. Proud. The word felt foreign. Ryan texted, Hey sis, thinking about investing in tech. Maybe we should talk. Chloe messaged, We should plan a family visit. We miss you. Miss me. They hadn't even attended my wedding. The invitation. 2 weeks later, my parents called again. They wanted to visit California. Suddenly flights weren't impractical. They arrived dressed perfectly, smiling wide, acting as if nothing had happened. Mom hugged me tightly. Oh, sweetheart, we always knew you'd succeed. No. You didn't. At dinner, Dad asked detailed questions about valuation, equity, shares, expansion plans. Not once did he ask about my marriage. Not once did he apologize. It was clear. They didn't come for me. They came for what I became. The moment of truth. On their last night, Dad finally said it. We've been thinking. Ryan has an idea for a startup. Maybe you could invest. Family helps family. There it was. The real reason. I looked at Daniel. He gave me a subtle nod. Calm, supportive, letting me choose. I took a breath. You didn't come to my wedding. Silence. Mom shifted uncomfortably. Oh, honey, that was just... No, I said gently. That was a choice. Dad's jaw tightened. We didn't think it was wise. And now? He didn't answer. Because now it was profitable. I folded my hands on the table. I love you, but I won't mix money and family. Dad's expression hardened. So that's it, you're too good for us now. I smiled softly. No, I just learned how to stop begging for approval. The real revenge. Revenge isn't screaming. It isn't slamming doors. It's peace. It's boundaries. It's success without bitterness. When they left, I didn't cry. I didn't feel victorious either. I felt free. Because I finally understood something. They didn't ignore my wedding because I failed. They ignored it because they couldn't control it. And when they saw the Tesla, when they saw proof of power, they wanted back in. But access to my life was no longer automatic. It was earned. 1 year later, our company expanded to 3 countries. We launched scholarships for young female entrepreneurs. We bought a home overlooking the bay. My parents occasionally text. Polite, surface level, careful. We are not estranged. But we are not the same. And that's okay. Because on our first wedding anniversary, Daniel surprised me. He took me back to that vineyard. We stood in the exact spot where those 4 chairs once sat empty. And he said, They didn't show up, but you did, for yourself. I looked at him, at the life we built, at the road ahead. And I realized the Tesla was never the point. The money wasn't the point. The real victory was this. I stopped trying to prove my worth to people who had already decided it was conditional. And once I did, everything changed.